All right, good morning, everybody, and we're glad to have you here, those of you that are in room A. Just to give you a little bit of a groundwork on it, what we're doing here for the next 25 minutes is live in this room only, and then at 9:30, our keynote speaker, David Montgomery, will be broadcast to the chapel and to room B downstairs also. But right now, it's just us right here. And we're going to start with two sets of awards. First, we will start with the CCA of the Year award. Let me give you a few comments before we get to that. If you got everybody's picked up your program, you got registered, and let me just mention to you that you found your way up here. The map on the inside back cover, page 15, will tell you how to get to all the other rooms. And, of course, there's a lot of good information in the program. We'll talk more about it at the end of the opening presentation at about 10:15 to give you a few more instructions. I'm Randall Reeder, a retired Extension Ag engineer, and glad to be here again with such a great crowd for the Conservation Tillage Conference. We're going to begin with the award for the CCA of the Year, and Jonah Johnson is going to make that presentation.
Morning. Good morning, everybody. As Randall said, I'm Jonah Johnson. I'm with Pioneer, and I'm the current chair of the Ohio CCA Board, and I'm very flattered to be up here and representing you guys this morning. So good to see a lot of familiar faces in the audience. One announcement I'd like to make is, have anybody heard of the International Certified Crop Advisor of the Year? And I want to put a bug out, if anybody's not seen the digital Dale this morning, that one of my previous mentors and co-workers, Harold Waters, here in the front, everybody probably knows Harold. He was our winner for the 2018's International Certified Crop Advisor of the Year, and I'm very humbled to call you a friend and a previous co-worker and still a mentor, so congratulations, buddy. So, I'd like to start off, how many, in the room's a little sparse because of other meetings this morning, but how many is a CCA in this room right now? Outstanding. How many are certified professional agronomists in this room? Okay, a little bit slimmer crowd, but so it's really neat to see that you guys have taken the certification process seriously and see value in that. The Certified Crop Advisor professional program is a part of the American Society of Agronomy, as many of you are aware. The CCA certification was established in 1992 across the U.S. and provides a benchmark for practicing agronomy professionals in the United States, Canada, Mexico, and Argentina. So it is spreading out worldwide, and that's exciting to see. The Ohio program was established in 1993, so if you do your math, the Ohio program is celebrating 25 years this year, so I think that's an awesome thing for us. Put a little bit of statistics behind that. Currently there are 13,503 CCAs in the program and 479 certified professional agronomists. In Ohio, we're in the top 10 with over 567 CCAs and 21 certified professional agronomists. So that shows leaps and bounds that you guys see this program is very important in keeping your credibility up. And from my perspective, in the last year alone, there's been a 40% increase in CCAs in the application process and being awarded the CCA designation. In 2017, we had 548 in Ohio, and right now, as of January statistics, we have 567. So I think that's a great thing that's becoming a bigger program. So why I'm up here this morning is to present the Ohio CCA of the Year Award. And so the Ohio Certified Crop Advisor of the Year was designed to recognize individuals who are highly motivated, deliver exceptional customer service for farmer clients in nutrient management, soil and water, integrated pest management and crop production, and have contributed substantially to the exchange of ideas and the transfer of agronomic knowledge within the industry in Ohio. And just that statement alone reminds me of a departing comment that one of my major advisors in grad school left me with. He said, Jonah, he says, over time you're going to work with clientele and they're going to get to know you and trust you based upon your knowledge that you demonstrated to them. And after they begin to trust you, they're going to start listening to your recommendation. And once they start to trust your recommendation, that's one of the greatest things that you're going to have to share with your clientele. And I took that very seriously, and I think that kind of summates why we're here and what we do, right? You demonstrate your knowledge, you took the test, you passed the test as a CCA, you earned the prospective grower's credibility by the trust and offering a credible recommendation to help the growers prosper on their farm and operation. And so that really kind of goes back to the CCA's signing the Code of Ethics and doing the best we can to make our growers prosper. And so with that, I want to give a little bit of background on our 2018 winter. And so this is a brief statement that came out of the application process, and I want to read it to you right now. So our 2018 CCA of the Year Award winner, he's been dedicated to the occupation for over 39 years, but also does not hesitate to go above and beyond for his customers. In the mid-1990s, he was the driving force for introducing VRT technology for our farm center. He initiated precision technology at our location, and ever since has been continued to learn and become his best in all aspects of his career. He's helped maintain customer satisfaction by providing only the best customer service to his clients. Currently, he is also the head of our 4R Stewardship Management Program, which oversees our fertilizer recommendations and rates for all their customers. All things considered, he has contributed substantially to our farm center team in areas in crop advising, recommendations, accounting, data technology, records, soil sampling, and much more. He deserves recognition to be recognized as a solid leader by using his agronomic knowledge to better the world around him. And I think that speaks leaps and bounds how it goes back to our creed of being a CCA here in Ohio. And so I'm really proud and really excited to present the 2018 CCA of the Year again to John Fritz. John, you in the room?
All right, that's a really nice award. I understand there's a cash award with that too, isn't there, John?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Did you give him the check?
Tell John I need to see him here.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Check's in the mail. All right. Next award, and you can see it up here on the screen, is the Ohio Master Farmer. There's two of those being recognized by the Ohio Farmer magazine. Jennifer Keel, who's the editor of Ohio Farmer, and is she going to introduce you, Nicole? Anyway, Nicole Heslop with Brownfield Media.
Good morning. The Master Farmer Award recognizes outstanding farm management, innovation, conservation, and leadership. Honorees demonstrate how to farm more effectively, efficiently, environmentally, and economically. The award is named the same year that it is given because it acknowledges a lifetime of achievement and not a single year. This year's honorees are highly successful. They operate and manage their farms with a high level of proficiency and focus on sustainability. It is our honor to award Dale Prophet of Van Wert County and Gary Schick of Hardin County as 2018 Master Farmers. The winners, who will be featured in the April issue of Ohio Farmer, were nominated by their peers. They will receive a plaque from Ohio Farmer magazine as well as be featured in our next issue, and Carhartt is supplying them with jackets. Brownfield Ag News created and also sponsors the videos that we will soon share.
We were going to go in alphabetical order, but we're missing Dale Prophet, so if you see him, send him here for our next video. Our first winner to award is Gary Schick, who started farming about 600 acres with his dad. 3 years after marrying his wife, Darlene, in 1969, Gary bought more land and now farms a little over 1,000 acres with his daughter, Molly, in Hardin County. The same year he married, he started no-till and has been 100% no-till for 35 years. There are pieces of the farm that have been consistently no-till for 50 years, and the Schick farm has hosted numerous field days to try and educate, encouraging other farmers in the practice. His goal is to help others and prevent someone else from making the same mistakes he did, the good and the bad. Molly, who also works for NRCS, was the lead in the Indian Lake Watershed Project and has done grid and soil sampling on the farm for 25 years, allowing for variable rate fertilizer applications. Working with NRCS, they have reshaped every waterway for the last 3 years and added a few new ones. Following corn and soybeans, the duo started using cover crops in 2005. Molly says her dad is very conscientious of the land and the environment. She plants the beans and scouts the fields, while her dad plants corn and tackles the spraying. In addition to raising Roundup corn, they also grow non-GMO tofu beans and food-grade corn. Gary says no-till takes patience. While he's not the first one to get started planting and not the first one done, he says that doesn't bother him. We're going to watch Gary's video.
Hi, I'm Gary Schick. I was born here, farm, and grew up here. My grandpa bought the farm, and my dad and mom moved here. I grew up raising livestock through FFA and 4-H. In high school, I kind of knew that I wanted to farm. I met my wife now of 49 years, Darlene. I grow corn and soybeans. We used to raise hay and wheat, and with the fallout in price of the wheat, we haven't grown wheat for probably 15 years, and just rotational corn and soybeans, no-till. That was my first no-till experience in 1969, and kind of evolved from that. My dad was open-minded and would let me try some things, even though some neighbors thought I might have been on the crazy end. I continue to no-till 100% of things except for where some tiling has been done. Start over on that with cover crop. I started in maybe the 70s using a little bit of cover crop. I have two daughters. One is involved in the farm, Molly. She does all of the soil testing, grid sampling. We went to that several years ago. She is my guru as far as technology, but she has been involved in the crop scouting for the last 10 to 12 years. She's planted all the beans and I've planted all the corn. I have another daughter, Jenny. She has 3 kids. She's raising on a mini farm. Molly, that helps me daily, has twins, a boy and a girl, that are 17. I have been involved with the Indian Lake Watershed Project from the start. I was a supervisor for the Soil and Water District for 2 terms. Have had several field days with Soil and Water Extension Office, Farm Bureau member.
Gary has been active with no-tilling for at least 20 years that I know of. He's been a board member on the Ohio No-Till Council, just a great representative, been involved in agriculture in good ways for many years.
My goal when I started, and still is, if I can help somebody from making a mistake that I made, share that with them. To get into farming, there has to be a passion there too. You have to pay attention to the little things to make the big picture work. I'm the only one up here that has to suck it in. Well, this was really a surprise. When Randall called and asked about setting up an interview, I had a message on my phone about the interview. Didn't understand anything about that, so Randall called and he said, "Are you okay for Friday on the interview?" And I said, "I don't know anything about it." So he kind of broke the news to me. So I thank Randall, and just there's been a lot of help along the way, and family has a big part of it too. So I just thank you for this award. Thanks again.
Dale Prophet's father started the farm in Van Wert in 1938. When the farm was big enough, Dale joined his dad and later his brother to form a corporation, growing row crops, but also tomatoes for several years and sugar beets for a time. Now he farms with his son Trent, and they grow popcorn, seed beans, and once in a while wheat. Dale was a pioneer in no-till. His nominator, Randall Reeder, says says he's been successful with no-till when the conventional wisdom was that it would not work on Northwest Ohio's lake bed soils. He uses ag consultants to pull samples on every field every other year. Once sampled and gridded, he variable rate applies fertilizer according to tri-state recommendations. In the late 1800s, he was one of the first two in Van Wert County to have a tractor that steered itself. He's been a farmer for 52 years and jokes that he still hasn't got it right. However, there are plenty of others that would argue that point. The benchmark for his operation is to get better before getting bigger, so the next generation has an opportunity to move on. Let's watch the video.
I'm Dale Prophet from Van Wert, Ohio, and I farm popcorn and seed beans and once in a while wheat. I've been at it for 52 years now. My father started farming in 1938, and I was born in 45 and started farming in 65. We farmed a family corporation in 76. We felt as though we could do more in a bigger entity than we could individually. One of our main goals being together is, before we done any expansion, we like to get better before we get bigger. We got into the popcorn business in 1986. We started out small, and in the early 90s we made the decision that we either was going to raise popcorn or we was going to raise field corn, because we could be much more efficient if we could do one or the other. Probably got into the seed bean business about that same time. My son started farming. He keeps me young. We get along well, we do things together. Met my wife in 1968. You know, I was a normal young guy. I thought she was a nice looking gal, and that was in October, and it took me till February to get up enough nerve to ask her out for a date. And we got married in 1970, and we had 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. Tricia has 4, Tanya has 3. Trent, he married a girl from Fort Wayne, and they got 2 children. We went to no-till in the early 80s. Instead of doing no-till on everything, we do strip-till on bean ground that goes to corn. I was on the Soil and Water Board. One of our goals is to get people introduced to no-till. And after I served then, I got on the Ohio Soybean Association. I was there for 9 years. Then I transferred over to the Soybean Council, and I was on there 9 years. And after that, I was on the United Soybean Board for 9 years.
He has continued, and the Prophet family has continued with no-till. And it's interesting that the Prophet family has shown that no-till can be done successfully in Northwest Ohio, where originally people said, oh, it's too wet up there, it won't work.
I would like to see what we've gotten accumulated that we'll pass on to our children, and hopefully they will pass it on to their children, and like for it to grow and be good stewards. That's so the next generation's got something. The next generation is important to me.